For this week's assignment, we're going to add a new page to our Google site called a student gallery page, which will serve as a place for you to showcase student work in your classroom. There's 4 steps that we need to do to complete this process. The first one is to access your website. So the first thing you need to do is to go to sites.google.com. You'll be prompted to log in if you're not already, and you'll be taken to a list of all of your websites. Again, you probably don't have as many as I do, but hopefully you have at least the one that you are working on for this class. So don't use the red create button because your site should already be created. Instead, find it in the list. And here is the one that I want to use right here. Once you found your site, click on the name, and you should be taken to your website. Step 2 is to create a page to serve as a student gallery. So over on the right, you'll see the 3 common buttons. We have the edit page button, which we don't want for this one, and the add page or new page button, which we do. We want a new page, so we'll select that page and type the name of the page as student gallery. Leave it as a web page and at the top level, so leave all the defaults as is and choose the red create button. We now have a new page called Student Gallery. We are in editing mode, which I can tell because of the toolbar across the top that looks like a word processing toolbar. If I want to get out of editing mode, I can click Save. And then to get back into editing mode, I simply select the pencil. You'll see there are some options that come with every page. One is the option to add files, so I could simply add student work files to the bottom of my page. I want to feature student work though right here on the visible part of the page, and I want to use that slideshow that we put together one of our first nights of class, the alphabet book slideshow, to serve as one of my gallery pieces here. We'll use that because many of you don't yet have a classroom where you can showcase the work going on in your classroom, so we'll use that for now as a nice example of what you know how to do, your new Google skills. And later down the road, if you ever wanted to replace that, obviously with work from your future classrooms, it's an easy fix. So the next step we need to do, step 1 was to access our site, step 2 is to create a page, step 3 is to put in that Google Slides alphabet book. One of the great advantages of using Google Sites is that it integrates beautifully with all of the other Google products, Google Docs, Google Presentations or Slides, Picasa web albums, and many more. So inserting that presentation is as easy as inserting a picture. So you'll go up to the Insert menu, and you go all the way over to the second column. You can see though all of these different things that we can insert in our site. But we want to put in a presentation, so find that option, choose it. And this should bring up all of the presentations that you own or that are shared with you. So find EDU 261 Spring Alphabet Book, select it either by clicking the title or putting a check mark in the box, and then go down to the blue Select button. Here you're prompted with some size choices and some customizations. So do you want a border around your presentation? Do you want a title? Those are up to you. Start the slideshow as soon as the player loads. I think I'll leave that off so people can progress through it at their own pace, but you might want to change that. If you have it auto starting, you probably want it to restart after the last slide. And then you can select the size. 400, 500, or 700 pixels. Because this is the only thing currently on my page, I think I'll go with medium. You can always change this later. If it looks too large, I'll come back and fix it. And I'll select the red Save button when I'm done customizing. I can see that Google has put in the presentation. It sure doesn't look quite like it right now. But when I get out of editing mode, I'll be able to preview it more effectively. I have some options here. This Properties button takes me right back to those properties we just customized. So if I want to change the size, I simply hover over my presentation and choose this Properties button. I can align it in the center or left or right. I think I'll go with center. And then to successfully preview how it looks, I need to choose the blue Save button and get out of editing mode. And now I can see our alliterative alphabet book that we collaboratively put together as a class. I did remove the direction slide at the beginning so that you'll all have a very nice looking title slide to use for your websites, and then those who visit your website can tab through and see all of the wonderful slides that we put together as a class. Now this does look pretty large. I will say that if I were having a student gallery page and wanted to add anything else, I'd want to make this smaller. So just to review how to do that, go to the pencil to edit the page that you're on. I'm going to click on my presentation and choose that Properties gearbox to edit it and change it to small. Now I'll click the red Save button, click the Save button to get out of editing mode, and there I go. Now there is one additional step that I need to complete. I've added the slideshow, but you'll look over here that there's no link to my student gallery page. So although I've made a page called Student Gallery, no one's going to be able to find it if they visit my home page because there's no link to it. So I need to, my last step is to add a link to it over here. And to do that, I need to edit my site's layout. So I'm going to go over to the More button, and I'm looking for an option to edit my site layout, which is right here, Edit Site Layout. It says New. When I do that, my website changes a little bit in appearance. I see some different toolbars across the top. And when I hover over an area, it gives me an option to edit it. So I'm just going to put my cursor, my mouse, right over the area I want to edit, which is this first navigation window right here. And I'm just going to click once I'm on it. And that will bring up all of the current pages that are listed in this window. So I have my home page, the About the Teacher page, and a page for deleting practice. Now I want to add a page. Of course, this page needs to exist before I'd be able to add it, but I just made my student gallery page so it exists. So I'll select Add a Page, and then I'll scroll down and find Student Gallery, and then I'll scroll down a little further and find the OK button. The Student Gallery page appears right here in the navigation. If I wanted it up higher, say I wanted it above my About the Teacher page, I use these arrow buttons over on the right to move it up and down. When I'm happy, I select the OK button, and now I can see that link appear in my navigation. Now before I can do anything else, if I'm done editing the site layout, I need to close this editing view of the entire layout. And so to do that, find the blue Close button at the top, and you'll be taken back to your website. So that is how you create a student gallery page, insert a collaborative project that your students have worked on, and link it to your navigation of your web page. That's your assignment this week. If you have any troubles, please let me know.